Fratelli, the Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. Fratelli, the Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast.
Ciao a tutti, benvenuti, welcome to a new episode of Fratelli di Rugby Podcast, episode 12, season 3. Mike, buonasera. Ciao, how are you?
Buonasera. I'm good, thank you, mate. How you doing? You good?
Pretty good. Couple
I've
of
got a
weeks
question
before
straight
Christmas.
off.
Nice.
Have
Yes.
you has Storm Dara bothered you at all? Have you guys seen it in Bulgaria? No. The storm. So I don't know if you noticed this this weekend whilst watching the rugby. Like there was a couple of in particular the Saracens game where they were trying to kick for touch and the ball was ending up like 30 yards
Look,
backwards.
there was in Venice yesterday. I was watching TV on the computer a couple of games for football game.
Yeah,
Culturally, yeah, and in Venice was crazy. The wind was crazy for that game.
mate.
Was a
It's,
big
honestly,
storm.
it's been nightmare here.
No, but I'm sure because they have also the issues at the stadium in what is it, in Cardiff. There's
Yeah.
some issues with the structure of the stadium, and they moved the game at Parc Scarlets.
Yeah. So I know because our family they had up to 94-mile-an-hour winds in Wales this weekend. Mental,
Wow.
mate. Although I was hoping to see penalties from like the 22, just
Drop
like,
from everywhere, like France Spain, both.
just that's it, just flying through, making like these cannonballs. But yeah, just thought I'd get that one out straight away.
No, it's been a windy and rainy week for the Italians.
Yeah,
European
storm-
windy blues. That is nice. Probably I should ask ChatGPT to write a song about this week
yeah,
in some
yeah.
way. Really,
Yeah.
really blue weekend for us. Starting from the first game of the week for the Italians, which is the Clermont versus Benetton game in Clermont. You were expecting a game like this, honestly, Mike?
No, not. I mean, I thought they, like, frankly, like, speaking frank, I thought Clermont had a good opportunity to win, like, before the game had started. But no, I thought it was going to be more competitive, mate. To be honest, maybe I was hoping, but I expected it to be more competitive. I know there were some changes, and there was good rotation the week before. Players were fresh. I just expected it to be more competitive, right? And it was on the big stage, and mate, I don't even want to let you know how many of my English friends messaged me going, "What's going on with Benetton and stuff this weekend?" It's just it's done my head in, mate.
Putting that, what's going on with Benetton? What's your thoughts in about this game and in general? Because we saw a couple of issues during this game that reflects a little bit how the season went until now.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, right? First of all, clearly something isn't clicking in the first half, right? Maybe it's because Benetton have a really good bench, and that's the point where they feel like they can start winning the arm wrestle with people like Spagnolo on the bench coming in, starting to win scrum penalties and stuff as soon as he comes in. Maybe that was it. But speaking sort of generally about the season, I think this weekend epitomized it quite nicely. There was plenty of like decent attacking play in the second half, but we can't finish. Like, we cannot finish. Stupid mistakes, handling mistakes, line out is doing my head in. Like, the amount, how many times did I message you on the game this weekend? Like, you cannot win games. I don't know how many times I've said this on this podcast. You cannot win games if you don't have good line-out percentage. And like the amount of lost ball we had in their 22 on attacking phase, sustained pressure, and then we just give it away, give them a get out of jail free card, can't capitalize on like the pressure, even if it's a yellow card, right? Like, even if it's physical pressure, because that last quality doesn't quite click. But I think there's something systematically wrong with how things are being approached. It's not the players, it's not even the coaches per se. It's just something in between isn't working, and we need to understand what that is. And from your coaching eye, Otto, like if you can,
so for you, is more a mental aspect of the game.
No, not even. No, because I think the play. No, I think it's easy to blame the mental aspect. Yes, if it was like
because it's so
year,
general saying mental aspect of the game. I know.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think if we're looking from last year, right, Toulon as an example, right, and this came up. Toulon, we lost, nilled, 14 men for 70 minutes. Sergio ended up scoring. All that jazz, right? Well, that might have been the year before. I can't remember when that's mental aspect, right? That was the mental aspect of the game. We were expected to win, and again, like we do that typical Italian thing when we're expected to win, performance goes down because we're trying it for the outcome as opposed to the process. That's not the case, like because in the second half it was good. I just don't think that it's 5%, mate. 10% maybe, like 5%. I reckon they're competitive. 10% they're winning these games that they're losing, but it just feels like a step back, mate. And that's quite a visceral feeling. And like obviously, I haven't spoken to anyone about this. We spoke, like I said, just the odd text in game. I haven't spoken to you before today, so this is all like I wanted to sort of explain myself on the pod. I think it's not the players. It's not even necessarily the coaches, but it's something in between. It is something in between that's not working, and maybe it's tactics that do need to be revisited. It's not because it's not the players; they don't become bad players. They're not bad players, frankly. So, yeah,
I'm gonna try to give you two points on this stuff. Cool. On this, first, they're not the players, but the players make the mistakes. Think about how many unforced errors we are, and probably there is that between that is not helping in this moment, is not let them shine on one side. On the other side, I can say, okay, but the tactics are the staff made the tactics. We have to change tactics. The players, you cannot switch players. You can switch in the squad, but you cannot pick a player from another team and say, okay, this is going to work now. So the two aspects are still there. And I think on one side, the players are trying to do their best, but they don't look like, I don't know, sometimes it looks like they're not fighting enough. That's for me in the breakdown. Think about this week.
Breakdown.
The numbers.
You've been saying it for ages.
Yes, that's true. Maybe it's the time to get into the new aspect of the work of Senegal as a breakdown specialist. Maybe it's that switch, but I see something coming from last year. How hard is to score tries this week? Really hard game, no tries. Benetton in the URC is the team with less entries, I think, something like that. So lowest position entering the 22, which is something that you said before. We have issues there to enter into the 22 and capitalize. The mistakes are always in that area of the field.
Yeah, and also, like, I think to your point as well, right? If we're thinking about last year, how many times did wins or like tries come or line breaks come from individual brilliance, like Menoncello, Albornoz, Smith? If you take those guys out, I wonder how, and Ratave, obviously, I wonder how many line breaks come from all of the other players combined, because obviously it's a couple of injuries here and there don't help, like Paulo Doggo obviously would make them, but I'd be really interested to see when you take all of those out, what we're working with, because right now, like you said, Otto, it looks like the effort is there, right? The effort is there, but maybe, and this is what I'm.
You need that 10% more.
Yeah, but what I'm verging towards is also, I think maybe it's Quesada's trying to change attack, Quesada's trying to change defense. Vast majority of Benetton play in the national team. Maybe they're stuck between two mindsets. They've just come off from long term. Like there wasn't much of a stand down, straight into the European games, straight into URC. And it's easy for me to complain about not complain. It's easy for me to give an excuse, right? And I'm trying not to give an excuse. But then if you look at the Irish model and like Leinster, they play very similar to how Ireland play. Like the transition's a lot easier. So like, stuff like that just
even Glasgow with Scotland.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know, mate. I just think, you know, parking the actual weekend itself, something needs to change quickly with Benetton, because we all want them to play and perform and be the team that we know that they can be and where they should be.
You think it's a fitness issue now? Just throwing their doubts to try to find some answers.
No, I don't think it's a fitness issue, because we're better in the second half.
No, I look Benetton Rugby, for example, too. Not how it was running, how fit he looks. Maybe not 100%, but still.
Oh, sorry. Oh, as in maybe, holding knocks and stuff. Yeah, potentially. Sorry, I thought you meant like in terms of generally, like this game. Very much, it could have been like maybe they do need a stand down. Maybe they do need a bit of time. Zanon, for the life of me, like he had such a good end to obviously the New Zealand game. It'd be good to give it, but there's the players are there. But I think in terms of like generally, like if we're talking about fitness, I think Benetton are probably one of the fitter teams in URC. Like, and I mean that like respectfully, because I know how much emphasis Bortolami puts on fitness, and like he said, you know, every player that comes here from a different team always says, "God, you guys work," right? Which he likes, right? But and obviously that we're typically better in the second half. We are a second half team, but it doesn't matter if you shipped, you know, 21 points after 27 minutes, right? You can't win games like that unless you're something special.
Look, I would like, if you want, we can go check on some videos, a couple of stuff about the line out issue, because that was a huge big issue with the line out.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
So I'm gonna open it, because to understand the tactics used by Clermont, because it was interesting in the line out what they did.
Yeah.
So let me put the audio is off, and this is slower. Okay, so they were really able at the end, because many times Benetton tried to create a maul at the end, at the tail. Okay, and every time they were able to disrupt the maul before even starting to move forward. So they did this work at the end of the maul that worked really well for them. Look, they go together, two defenders, to put these two guys and put them down.
Yeah, sacking it straight away.
Yeah, right away.
Yeah.
Together. So it's technique, because these happen even in the second half in the same way.
Well, they kept throwing two pods up at all time, didn't they? One at the front.
Yes, exactly. That is the other one. Look how he works, this guy.
Yeah.
I think it's Massa, the hooker. Again, he's able to put his hands around the hip of Zuliani and bring him down.
Yes. Kian, it is legal, because a maul hasn't been formed. So there's like a very short window. Obviously, the ref needs to call maul as well. But just before, unless it's really obvious and like three players have what's the word I'm looking for?
Look, the moment
winded.
Neither one step, because he stand up, he goes down. Look, the Zuliani's foot down.
Yeah, it's interesting, because I noticed the two pods, and they always threw, or at least from memory, they threw so many at the front pod, and I assume they did that because of the wind, and they know that there's an issue with hooker, so it's forcing us to go long, and obviously hoping that it wouldn't be straight, or for whatever reason. Obviously, I know it was really, really windy. I feel like they played that sensationally from that standpoint, but and again, this is speculation, but like I wonder if that was the thought process behind it, if that makes sense.
Makes sense, Mike, for me. And look, I'm gonna put you these two. Other disruption is another one. It's different from the one from Zuliani. This is Izekor. In the moment he goes down, he already get like hugged by Alatoa and goes down. And this is happening also later. with almost the last look. They go around.
I mean,
they are
obviously
forcing this.
that's those two examples, right, are tough because I think you can, like, if we were being argumentative here, like those two examples there, like you can see that they've attacked, they've touched him before they're fully down, right? Like well, not on that one, the one with Izakor and the last one.
Okay. Yes.
Those two, like, and listen, they're playing to the ref, that's fine. But look, he's engaged there already. Like, he's got his arms under, like, so in UFC terms, that'd be double underhooks, where he's got his arms both under his under his armpits, so you can just toss him to a side. Like, that is the stuff that we don't do good as an Italian team. Like Zebre national team, Benetton, we don't do that good. That is brilliant because it's only illegal if the whistle blows, and that's beautiful. Like the fact that they got away with it.
They play on the edge on this.
Oh,
and
brilliant play.
And talking about the way they put always the players up to force, as you said, and they try to have a 1-versus-1 between Tixeron and Ruzza many times. But every time was really hard because look, they are always in the front, jumping in the front, putting the tall, long guy ready to make it dirty sometimes too, because sometimes they can touch the ball, sometimes it's not perfect the transmission to the number 9. So everything, look, even here again, Ruzza Tixeran is already up. 1-versus-1. When Ruzza move around, he was in the front.
He gets his arm in between Ruzza's as well, which is like really good position to be in on that one. Look,
ready here, and they always put the guy in the front, and they lose again. So they were good on this, like really well. The battle was well planned by them, but then we commit anyway a lot of mistakes. In the field, there was a couple of situation in the first half where they were able to move maybe one pass, pull pass behind, and move it to leave Ratave the ball, and instead the ball goes to the pod, and then you lose the momentum, and then you open the ball out. Not that good, let's say.
Yeah, and also, like, even when there was like decent attacking play, like there was a few times where they did manage to ship it out wide, it always felt like there's like that half second of like what's the word I'm looking for, like misunderstanding, like insecurity in terms of like what they should be doing when they're in a position where there's space. Just missing that killer instinct.
I saw a couple of positive guys in the field.
Oh, for sure.
Marin was good, playing 15, all this stuff, but he played a really good game, I think. And another guy that for me is playing well in the last couple of games is Leinag. I saw him with a good spirit to play. And that's for me, it's really positive for him, because maybe not having played that much during the National Nation Cup maybe can motivate you in a positive way, but also push you down. So
for sure,
he did his best on that.
Yeah, for sure. And also, like, as much as there was issues at line out, Creevy was brilliant in the front row as well. Like, he definitely adds something in the scrum. And yeah, like you said, I think Marin, he just shows that flair that we lack. He reminds me a lot of like an audacious sevens, like Argentinian player, just like throwing stuff like that in between the legs, like pass was like comical, but stuff like that is just.
I was pretty efficient.
But yeah, I 100% agree with Liner as well. I noticed that he was becoming a lot more busy. He was popping up like in midfield. He's trying to make stuff happen. Also, like you said, he ended up on a couple of occasions, I think, at first receiver, which is crazy. Sorry, second receiver, excuse me. So like he wants to make an impact, which is great. And obviously lots of what's the word I'm looking for? Lots of competition coming up to the Six Nations and the derbies and stuff. So now's the time where he knows he really needs to stand out and try and make an impact. So good to see him work.
So talking about in general the performance of the guys in the field and losing with 0 points on the score, and last weekend with against Edinburgh in the URC, you think it pays the decision to put that team against the Scottish and this team against the French ones?
It's like it's 2020 hindsight, isn't it?
I know it's. I mean, we are talking after.
I think
it makes sense, or was better to point out, like Edinburgh asked to Van den Merwe to play the game back from the Nation Series.
It's interesting because I think players play better when they have a good string of games and they're not like, obviously,
Battered, of course.
Yeah, obviously there's a level, right? Because obviously the more they play, the higher the chances are, especially if they play more minutes, they play more frequency, they play more likelihood they get injured. But I think players play better when they're battle hardened, and we see that at the Autumn Nations, where the Southern Hemisphere teams have played for a long period of time together, right? You can say that it's they've developed more of an understanding of the team and etc. But it's also the fact that they're battle hardened. They've played, like I'm sure you can relate as someone who's played rugby. I always feel the first few games of the season, even if you had a really good preseason, I always feel a bit shit. It's like halfway through the season where I'm like, okay, like I feel good.
And it's too hot, Mike.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's yeah, for you, like it was never hot here in the winter, mate. Don't you worry, mate.
With 16 degrees.
Yeah, mate. That's summer for us. So yeah, no, like the point is, right? I think if you're going to try and give players a string of games, and you're trying to show, and obviously there's an element of revolving and giving players opportunity and experiences and all of that stuff, but chances are the players who should have played against Edinburgh, I don't think they necessarily would have made too much of an impact on that game. It's almost like they were overlooking that game for this one, and unfortunately this one ended up the way it ended up. So yeah, to answer your question, no, I don't think it was a good idea.
So now next two games, Bath and URC again, against both games in Treviso, which is good, excellent, I would say. What team you put against Bath? Who you drop?
It's also what team do we face against Bath?
Yes, that's the point too. Let's see how many they will change, because you're gonna expect a really good team like this weekend. The Bath team was really good.
Yeah,
so in case they come in that way, of course they have already points again because they won against Cardiff, but they give away a lot of points, I would say. Who plays 9?
The age-old question for me is Jurgen injured?
No, should be okay.
No brainer for me.
Okay,
no brainer.
So English 9-10.
It doesn't make any more sense than having someone who intrinsically has Bath as a rival in his blood from his time at Bristol to that. Do you know what I mean? Like it makes so much sense to me that's it's like, it's not a question for me. Jurgen plays 9, Kian. No questions.
So the Englishman in, so Ellis 9-1-2 because he played in Leicester.
Oh, mate, that's it. Like we're fine. We're sorted here, mate.
Okay.
Yeah. Have Liner in as well. Yeah, why not?
So I think another 40 minutes starting from Krevi. What do you think?
He needs game time.
He needs game time.
He needs game time. He needs and if he's not, question is, if not now, when? Right? We need him at the back end of the season. If Benetton are doing well and they're in the championship games, they need Creevy.
So you start with the Spagnolo Krevi Ferrari next weekend,
mate. Spagnolo, like, he's so good. Like I don't know if he prefers coming off on the bench, but I do think
he wants to play, I guess.
Yeah, I'd like to see Avaka, I think, on the bench this weekend instead of He-Man. Just for this weekend, because I think he's had an impact since he's been playing. Unless he's injured, in which case, yeah, whoever. But yeah, I think, yeah, if we can have Creevy start, that'd be great. Give him good 45 minutes, see how his fitness gets him. But he needs game time. He needs it quickly.
What else? Let's see. Centers, okay. I think Brexoncello's down. Then Paolo saying going to struggle against Bath because they're going to see the same problem at Bristol. We'll see. Man, they are able to move the ball everywhere. They are brilliant also chasing all the kicks. I think Russell will play this game too.
Yeah.
And they're good hard workers in the back rowers. So it's gonna be another challenging game for Benetton. It's home, it's okay, but it's not given.
No, nothing's given for us, mate.
Nothing's given.
Nothing. I think it's going to be interesting. I assume Underhill's playing. Like you look at that back row, mate. Like Ted Hill, Underhill, mate. Like they're just those two players alone are like world class. Don't need to say anything more on that.
No, look, I think we know what Bortolami, the team is gonna do. I mean, the shape is gonna be that, but it's gonna be so important to win those breakdown in a positive, not losing momentum, because a couple of times we attacked this last week.
I'm hoping this isn't a power cut and Otto's just trolling here.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yes. No, it's not a joke. It's
you're trolling me there, mate.
It's not snowing today, so
that's right.
I don't know what happened, but let's see how they're gonna react to those input they will have, because they need momentum. And they found little bit of momentum and positive attack when the game line was there. The phases after were slow, but they had a couple of good occasions where they keep momentum in attack from line out when they got the line out. That is another question. How is going to work the line out this week? That is the trickiest, because
depends on the weather as well. Like I think, Clermont could risk because they knew that we had a hooker that hasn't played in so long. He's always going to be rusty. And then obviously our two first team hookers have gone elsewhere. So there's, apprentice hookers who've now been promoted. So they knew that they could risk just disrupting the front and forcing, these long throws that and decrease the probability of it ending up in our hands. Like it was smart play, mate, to be honest. That was done because of the weather. But if the weather's dry, it's not windy. I expect. I hope. Jesus, I hope that we. I hope that we have slightly better line out percentage. We need it, mate.
Yeah, first stolen, one long pass lost, another couple lost actually, because the ball then bounced down, but it was pretty nightmare in the line out, and that is the source you want to attack. But let's see this week. Let's see the team and a couple of news. It's that Odogu is going to be injured for quite a bit, so probably he's going to be.
How I saw that he's going to get injured, but how long?
It's an arm, so probably a couple of months out.
Man, that guy has no luck, does he?
No, man, no. See, Scrafton got something similar, but the other thing is that he got Zilocchi got surgery. I don't know what, but he got surgery, and it's been said by Quesada during an interview. And I don't know if that pop out in the in the Benetton news, actually. Like Bollet
Jeez.
Medicos. But let's see what else is going on.
Yeah. I mean, like, we didn't need it before the Six Nations, did we? We didn't need.
Oh,
We
I
didn't need
don't.
this. That's a shame because like I said, I think Paolo has something that our other wingers don't have.
Oh, the
And like
meters
just
he
that,
can do.
yeah, just like the post contact meters. Like I don't think we have anyone else. Maybe Monty to an extent, but not like
Yeah,
Paolo.
different way how they push. Let's say.
Yeah, yeah. It's such a shame because, like I said, we were looking for gain line breakers. I said this last week on I think it was someone's question. He would. That's a shame because he would have been. Yeah. I would love to have seen him against England or something. This Six Nations, but we move.
We move to Zebre. Actually, let's dig into this game after a half hour of Zebre. Don't forget to subscribe, listen us on Fratelli di Rugby. Here we go. Let's put this back today, and you can join us commenting here on YouTube with the bell. You're gonna know when we are live. Sometimes we are live in other days, so be updated with us everywhere on X2. What else, Mike? Zebre Connacht, more points on the score. What's easy after the 0 for Benetton, but two halves game. I don't know to say. The first half was interesting because we see them struggling in some areas, but then we're able to stay in the game.
Yeah.
The wind, the wind factor was crazy. Another player was crazy to play.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
hey, you have to stay there 80 minutes, not only 40, no?
Yeah, I mean it's always a tough place to go in, losing and then knowing that the opposing team can just like pin you back with some kicks because the wind. It's like you're never going to win that battle, so you're forced to run. I am a little bit surprised that we didn't see more counter attacking. Like Zebre love a counter attack from ball in hand. I know obviously it's typically Geronimo that goes in, just shouts Geronimo and just runs through the wall. But I was hoping to see more from the wingers, to be honest, just see a little bit more in terms of like that just ambition to counter attack when they knew, because ultimately, right, it's a free pass. Like you've gone in, was it 21-7 at half time? Like I can't remember the score. It was 21-5 or whatever it was, right? So like you've gone in, you may as well just have like given it a good go, but it looked like they were trying to play pragmatic stuff. Maybe that's because they want to make it their DNA and identity, and regardless, that's what Brunello's saying. He's like, stick to this plan, regardless how it's going. This is what I want us to look like, and it's going to benefit us later on. Maybe that's the plan, but it's a shame because they were playing some really nice stuff in the first half. I thought they played really, really well in the first half.
Too many changes.
What's that, sorry?
Too many changes. Like, of course, the approach was completely different. If you think, Benetton the best team possible. Zebre put debutants, stuff like that. Switching player role that probably answer a little bit what you were expecting from them. With Geronimo, yes, you attack much more physically on the line. Montemari is a little bit different kind of player.
Yeah. He's a little bit more conservative.
That brings something different there.
Yeah. I'm really happy to see Drago though. Like if we're talking positives, I thought he had again a standout game, couple nice line breaks. Defensively, he was folding people. He looked like everything that we knew that he could be. Also, it looks like he's put on a bit of size. I don't know if you noticed that as well. Looks like he's put on a bit of mass, which is good. And I think we definitely saw some good from young Dominguez Jr. Saw some bad as well. So hopefully he's working on the bits that he needs to focus on. But like his kicking game, ironically, knowing who his dad is, right, had to be right. That was just passed on when he was born. he was born with like rugby boots on already. Like he was
And he's not
the
that
kicking
young,
team.
if you think Thomas Dominguez, because I think he's 26,
I think, yeah,
27 years
26,
old.
27, I think. Yeah.
He was playing Valo Rugby, I guess,
Yeah.
before Zebre.
Question for you then, Otto.
Yes.
So obviously we know Zebre development side. We know like what they're trying to set out to achieve and like trying to do. What did you think was the obviously minus defense and saying that? What is it that they're lacking or they lacked last game to try and be slightly more competitive than they were?
For some decision in defense, I will say. The try we almost at the end of the game with when Fusco called on the blind side, and then he rush up. After numbers, you can wait and just slide. That situation, how easy it was for the number 8 to score the last one, and the one before on the open side, just a couple of balls out, pass, finding space. So a little bit of disconnection in that line. And that was probably something they missed by not with the system. It wasn't the system. I think it was more the mistake by the line, the connection. That for me was something to like, come on, they can do better than that. We saw them better than that during the full season this year. So that surprised me in a bad way.
I was also interested to see like how when the wind's on your back, I think box kicks like aren't always the best way to go for me. Like I think it's like look at the difference what Connacht did when they had opportunity. They weren't really box kicking. They were trying to get the pass out and then try and like kick it to the corner where the wind was blowing and stuff, and really try and make advantage
because
of that.
they keep you down there, and that was the attack was countering in any way.
Yeah, so I think for me, I think that's a lesson learned from Zebre. Again, it's like playing the conditions. Who played the conditions better, and like Connacht absolutely played those conditions so much better. Like,
you think if Trulla was there playing 15, probably was easier to counterattack and find
for sure,
the right
he
momentum
was a counterattack.
too.
Yeah,
because
for
then
sure,
you don't need a systematic like I break on this line and then I'm gonna kick you in the corner on the other side. Probably not, because the kick the wind is not gonna help. Think about also the Jesse kick when he the chip kick and almost come back just for the wind. He came back there, but
I mean, like if you're gonna kick through, I think like and the wind's that like that, you need to do grubbers. You can't kick it high if not, or like I mean, it wasn't even that high, was it?
Keep that height. No, you have to keep that.
Yeah, I need to keep it low.
We know was more developing this week, so probably I'm not that mad like for the Benetton game because of course the other side. What do you think about Milano?
Mate, he's a little beast, isn't he? He is a little beast. Mate, it's like probably like 20.
This was the week of Ortombina, Milano, the young flankers playing. Which is good. I just finished to download the Perpignan game, so I'm gonna cut it and see how he did. But Milano, he did his job.
You know what you need to do? You need to do like you have to have like a almost like a Mortal Kombat Ortombina versus Milano, and then like have it so that side by side what they were doing.
Round one fight.
Yeah, finish him.
Finish him. Sub-Zero. Which one was your favorite? Sub-Zero.
Yeah, mate. It's always going to be Sub-Zero, isn't it? Get over here.
And Street Fighter, which one?
Oh, mate, I can't remember. Kaio? Blonde one. Karate, black belt. Street Fighter, yeah.
Okay. Ken and Ryu.
I can't remember. Ken Ryu. That's it. Yeah. You know, hey, mate. You have
Vega, or whatever you call it, the one with the weird stuff.
Yeah, man.
It was a good one this week.
Mate, he was brilliant. Like, mate, there was a lot of positives from that Zebre game, I think. I'm interested to find out a little bit more about some of the HIAs and stuff. But
Oh, you know what? I wasn't expecting to see Stabile playing in the pod, central in the pod. I'm expecting him to see him playing wide
because
open.
of his
Former
pace.
7,
Yeah.
pace, power.
Yeah.
So that was something like, why have to see him fighting in this as a off 9
Yeah.
instead on second, third receiver, let's say,
Yeah.
after a couple of passes to run more. That I understand.
I think
more.
Brunello probably thought, okay, well, him being there,
Creating,
like,
moving
and then gives the centers, particularly like because Drago is a better distribution center than Lukin, who I thought had a good game as well. How long did he stay
I
on?
think
I can't
Dare
remember.
had a good game. Dare
Had
is
a really good game.
going on the path that I was expecting to see from him.
Yeah, I'm trying to
So
think
that
who
helps,
else.
because I'm happy to see Marin playing really well when he has some opportunities. This time he got more time. He didn't commit mistakes. Dare trying to attack the line. It's the one that attacked the line the most for us as a fly off, seems to me.
What about Bozzoni got injured, right?
Bozzoni got out injured. He started. I don't know. Some good tackles, but in general, not their
positioning.
Yes.
Yeah, positioning was off. Like his one-on-one tackles were okay, but like it was his positioning that was really like narrow, and then holding whip when he shouldn't be holding whip. It's just, again, like when you drop someone in at the deep end, like, again, just as a discussion for those people like, oh, there's not much difference between club rugby and national team, or club rugby and Champions or Challenge Cup, mate. Like, you can drop someone in if they don't know the calls and they're not really sort of too accustomed with the team. Like, it's obvious, right? So, but he did show some good stuff as well. Like in the couple of times he had ball in hand, I thought he looked quite like his footwork's really nice and stuff. But in attack, there was a couple of times where he's, again, too narrow. Ball goes over him because he's not the tallest. Plenty for him to work on, right?
So next week, still giving space to everybody to get ready for the derbies, I guess. That's
Mate,
the best.
I think, yeah.
It's
Now
fair, right?
is the time, right? I think Zebre quietly are targeting Benetton, to be honest. Quietly, like, they're probably going to, I reckon they're probably going to put out another, like
Similar team.
similar, well rotated, leverage some of the players who have previously been permit players, etc. Leverage a lot of those, and then they're probably just like all of the analysis on Benetton. Yes. Very tough condition to make your debut and you win too.
And to answer back, Christopher, yes, Odogu seems to be injured for a couple of months after he scored the try, and then he had this problem in one of his arms. And Zilocchi talk about some surgery, but nothing. Yes, can answer back everything there. Ooh, Benetton and Zebre and Benetton. So, like, I always have that meme with the people hanging, like, first time here. Like, sometimes Italian club, sometimes it's that. Like,
hey, mate, we know. Like you said, nothing's ever given. We're Italian fans. Nothing is ever given.
A brutti, I would say, Emanuele. Oppure a cazzaro, cioè, come on. Jokester. It's not true, but anyway. Yes, have you watched other games, Mike, this week? I watched Leinster.
Yeah, no, I did. So I watched the Leinster game. I watched I didn't watch the Bath game. I watched the, obviously, Clermont game, Northampton game, the Saracens game, which was comical. and what was it? I didn't actually catch the Quins game. I've got to be honest, because it was on at the same
50
time as Zebre.
for Dino Lamb, 50 games.
The boy. In fact, there was quite a lot of Italians playing this weekend, weren't there? So we had Riccionia Saracens.
Riccioni Saracens, then there was Ortombina, there was Ceccarelli.
And the
Capozzo.
hooker. The hooker, Capozzo had a good game. Watched that game. Zarantonello. I watched him play. I watched a few, and then on Sunday, what was it? I'm just having a quick look now. The Toulouse games what I watched, and then the Bristol Leinster game, which is really good.
Please, when you can start putting in Doris, Snyman,
Barrett was sensational, mate. Like what's this Champions Rugby you talk about? Just comes on and just. I know it was against Bristol. You take it with a pinch of salt, but man, like.
But was consistent, man. He made the good pull pass as a 12, proper 12.
But the
good
even like
12, I would say. Make a joke about Irish.
Yeah, you know what's interesting as well, mate. Like for Prendergast's second try, where like he does the double pump, right? So like everyone expected that to go to him. Like I think even a little bit Prendergast did. He's it's still in my hands. I'm just gonna run now. Like even he tricked himself. But yeah, like they look good, man. Like that last. Well, they look good. The last sort of 20 minutes of that game, they look really good. One player, not Italian, not Kiwi, that I'd like to highlight, and me and my friends were saying that he was going to be a star like early on. Ivatoye looks good, man.
Good.
He looks defensively. Obviously, there's some limitations there. He reminds me a lot of Christian Wade. Like he very, very like just got a nose for the line, like just pacey. Just obviously Wade's a lot smaller, but like he's just powerful, and I feel like has a very good game, and he's someone who I'm really surprised he's not in the conversations for England. Like he's a good player. So yeah, going to be interesting to see sort of how he develops as well. So young still.
Talking about players, they are not in the radar, but they should be for next cycle, whatever. A player that I would love to have for Italy is Van Rensburg, Janse Van Rensburg, the center. I love him. I love that player since years ago, and
he was brilliant Irish as well, wasn't he? He's just always been so consistent. He's You know, if you had to give players a score out of 10,
that is a Swift knife. Would you need this? Yes, I got it.
Yeah.
MacGyver.
Yeah. He's like he's just consistently good. Just consistently good.
But anyway, Leicester. You said the first try, the second try. I would say the first one with the Snyman too. I love those tries because there's the try where the ball goes to the first man in the middle of the pod, play inside, and then play with the outside player after, which is Snyman, and the 10, which was the axis behind the pod, is the fourth player in this diamond that touch the ball and score. When 4 players in that way scored, just moving the ball in the right time.
It looks good as well.
And skills and decision making go together.
Yeah, I think we know what we expect from like the Leinster, like they're just it's just Champions Cup in their blood, right? Do you know what I mean? Even if they're having a bad game, and I think it's fair to say that they didn't really find their feet, and Bristol made it really tough for them, to give them credit as well. They'll find a way. But did you watch the Toulouse game?
I watched part of it.
Did you see Capozzo's second try?
The one with the pass,
the kick pass. Yeah. So Dupont, like just they're sucking them in. One thing, Capozzo, obviously, we don't have the liberty of this in Italy, and we don't have the liberty of it at Test match rugby, to be fair. But he can just hold his width. And they know, like, Dupont's always looking for him, like, where is he? And then that beautiful kick, man. Like, he is
and not the first one like that, kind of kick pass. He is really good in that. Dupont.
Mate, like,
What else
yeah.
to say on Dupont about Dupont?
Yeah.
But yeah,
We saw that Varney scored as well. Similar sort of try to full score against
exactly.
Georgia.
Against the same Georgians actually. Matkala
Yeah.
was the number 10 there. So yeah.
Yeah,
From the
yeah.
line out and running, but Van lost. But there were a lot of youngsters in that team.
Yeah.
They struggling in top 14, so they need to be better there.
Yeah.
Mike, which one is the player that you're gonna bring for the Lions tour? That you say, mate, I want this guy to be part of the against Australia. Which one? Give me a couple of players that you think they should play. Because I'm like center.
You know what? This would be fun.
Go.
I want to see. Like, let's do this then, right? If live, we haven't planned this, right? Let's see. Who would be your loose head right now?
Yeah.
As based on current form, right? Like, can't be someone who's been long term injured or whatever.
Porter, Genge.
Yeah, for me it's Porter. Like, yeah, because obviously if push comes to shove, he can also transition on the tight head if needs be, because he started at tight head. So,
Number 3,
Ferguson.
Makes sense. Makes totally sense.
Who would you have out of interest? Who would you have at 3?
Sinclair. Sinclair is playing really well at
Well, I don't know how it works. Like, does that mean like also Arundel is up for discussion, for example? Like, because let's be honest, everyone was like, sorry.
I don't think there are rules about it. Think about the Courtney laws. He said, you know what? If they want me to call for the let me see last
that would be Andy Farrell spitting in the face of the RFU, and I'm here for that. So
my
funny.
God, that's
so funny. I think he's too proud of Englishman. No, he would never do that. Like, I don't know, Matt. Okay, right. Let's go on the premise that they are. Okay, fine. I'm happy with that. In which case, Tom Willis is already in the team for me. By the way, if that's the case, he's already in the team for me. That's fine. Like,
totally sense, Mike.
Yeah. So
let me check squads. You go ahead because I'm trying to see if there are players outside.
I really struggle with second row, because I think, and the reason I say this, my friends, we had this discussion last weekend.
Finn Russell, in 2021 in South Africa, he was playing a Racing. So yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so there we go. You've proved the point, right?
Yeah.
So for me, right, and like I said, my friends were having this discussion. I didn't chime in too much because I didn't feel like I had the right to, but now we're having our own fun. I think George Martin goes in at lock for me. And I know that's a really odd one because he's young, but man, he is like destructive. And then I don't know. Everyone says Itoje. For me, it's not Itoje personally. Like, I think Itoje gives too many penalties. I don't know who. McCarthy maybe for me.
So you're playing Martin Laws.
Well, here's the thing as well. So Chandler coming in.
Go with English, that's the point. You go with
Chandler
English.
coming himself and on the pitch at the same time, mate.
If not, you and then back row, who's gonna be in the back? Oh, the hooker. Before we move,
I mean, Sheehan, if he's fit, I think is a no-brainer, right?
If not, who's gonna be the bench one? It's gonna be
Dewey Lake. I think Dewey Lake is genuinely, if there's one Welshman that can make that starting team, it's Dewey Lake, in my opinion. I don't think there's anyone else.
Okay, so at least we have a quote, the Welsh quote in the team. Okay,
maybe.
Okay, back row. Doris where?
Yeah.
Cunningham South where?
Yeah. I mean, again, like Tom Willits, without an ounce of irony, Tom Willits is in my team. Like, he's in my team. But...
Well, I would love to see a Tom Willis, Doris, Cunningham South back row.
Yeah.
Not bad.
But then, like, we've got players like Van der Fleer, just you know what I mean?
Just playing the interprovincial games, just playing
he's a midweek guy. Van der Fleer, one of the best players in the world.
For the first test, who are you gonna pick? Like against Australia?
Yeah. So
Now,
against Australia. So we're picking
against
for Australia. We need people who can dirty that ruck. In which case, Cunningham himself doesn't make that for me. I don't think he has. I mean, he's so good defensively though. Well, he's not. He's very good. He's very abrasive. But I think you have to have structure against Australia. If not, they punish you if you force it into an unstructured game. So I want people who are really diligent. So I have Underhill. Playing.
Underhill, Doris,
Van der Fleer as well, just because he gets around the park. Like I don't know. For Australia, it's a different proposition, isn't it?
Tyke Burn 6.
Yeah, I love Burn. I love Tyke Burn. And then Gibson Park. I don't even have to. Speak about that.
Okay. Russell or Smith for the first test?
Russell for me.
Okay. Russell. So Irish center, Scottish center, only Lawrence.
Ollie Lawrence, not for me, not at all. I don't think he's close to the conversation. I think Bundyaki. Yeah, Tuipulotu's like that's a non-negotiable for me. He has to. Okay, he's been one of the best players.
Outside center, Ringrose.
I think Bundyaki might be really good with Tuipulotu. Imagine those two with Tuipulotu's distribution skills.
I don't know, but I go with Ringrose.
Oh, mate, that's interesting as well. I love that.
Strong Ringrose.
Okay, go on. Back three. I want to hear this from you, mate.
So the back three. Lowe, Graham, and the fullback.
It's got to be one player. It's got to be.
No, who you think of? No, Keenan. Who?
No. I think the bet. I think one of the most informed players in the Northern Hemisphere the past 2 seasons. It's got to be Blair Kinghorn, right?
Oh
Do you not think?
No, I don't get you. So speed the name.
Sorry, Kinghorn.
Oh, Kinghorn, yes. Blake Kinghorn.
Like he's just been.
Yes, I will never think about him as a 15. I still have the thing. He's a 10. He's a 10. He's a backup 10 for us.
He's a backup 10 as well. He's a backup 10 as well. But I just think he's been so good.
He's so good. That's true.
But it is. You know what's funny? If you'd have asked me this 3 months ago, or 2 months ago,
put him at all, huh?
No, it would have been predominantly Irish. Like this is how fickle rugby is, isn't it? Let's be honest. It would have been predominantly Irish, 90% Irish, maybe sprinkling of Scottish and English. But I think Dewey Lake's done enough to get his little foot in to one Welshman. But yeah,
no. Anyway, a good team.
It is a good team
to lose against Australia, of course, right?
Oh, Jesus, man! Could you imagine the scenes?
Hey,
the scenes.
I won the drama until the last test. That's as a not English fan, not Australia fan. Even if I love Australia Wallabies,
you love the drama. I just hope we see some
come on,
Otto. I just hope we see fireworks, mate. I just want to see Australia of old, abrasive, like one of my favorite players when I was growing up. Obviously we were blessed that we had Sergio and all of that stuff. But when I was looking at back rows, obviously the Hooper Pocock partnership was just legendary, and especially I just love watching those two play.
Disgusting, Mike.
Literally disgusting. Literally disgusting, mate. Not
some
fair.
Combos back in the days were lethal.
Unreal. I just and if they can find something that that identity again, which it looks like they're going there, and Schmidt's obviously a fantastic coach, mate. That's going to be a really interesting one. I'm buzzed. I'm buzzed for next year. I can't wait.
One thing, is it Owen Farrell available for selection?
So for me, yes. And he has to go Daddy Faz and Baby Faz together, yeah. Okay.
No, that because seems like nobody's thinking about that at all. That scenario to have a Farrell.
He's had a bad start to the season. That's the issue. And listen, you're only as good as the players around you, right? And it's a team sport, as we know. And if a coach is playing his son, who wasn't even like fourth choice centre at Leicester, sometimes it's going to put you under a bit of pressure as well. But joking aside, I think it's one of those where like he's good enough, right? We know what Faz can do at his best, but we haven't seen on form. He doesn't get in, does he? He's nowhere near Tuipulotu. He's nowhere near Bundiaki. Nowhere near Ringrose. Nowhere near Hugh Jones. He's just like, unless you're talking at 10, and then question is he's probably more likely to get in at 10 than he is at centre, and he hasn't played like an out and out 10 in a little while, you know.
Oh, makes sense. No, now I'm thinking all the stuff about the Lions tour, but I'm gonna ask you next week.
Nice.
So get ready to still talking about the Lions tour.
Nice.
We're gonna have more stuff coming. Okay. We've been chatting for an hour. It's been a pleasure, Mike. I think we discussed pretty well about what's going on at Benetton, why it's not clicking in some way, and more positive takeaways for more debutants, a different level of battle that they put in the field by the two coaches, best team, experimental team, Benetton and Zebre, and we dig a little bit more. I'm gonna prepare some games for you next week, Mike. So get ready for the games, okay?
And guys, keep your I was gonna say keep your eyes peeled for those Ortombina.
Ortombina video, Jordi Barrett video is already out on Rugby Got Shot, so you can watch it. And Mike, thank you so much for another Monday together. See you next week.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Fratelli, the Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. Fratelli, the Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast.